There's a lot that needs to be cleaned up. We've talked about it now for 4 straight weeks. The running game is just not where it needs to be or where anybody thought it would be at this point. And I think that's bunging up the offense a whole lot right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I hope this mini bye is going to be good for the team, and I hope that the opponent that they're playing is going to be good for the team.
Is this the perfect team to come in? Or would you rather them actually play a good team to sort of see what they actually have?
No, I think what this team could really use right now is a laugher. And I don't know if they're equipped to construct a laugher right now, but you feel better about that happening against a team like the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. Did you see what Cam Ward said about his team?
Yes.
We got nothing to lose.
No, he said we blank.
He said
we
blank.
Backside,
These
but he
first
didn't
4
say
games,
backside.
yeah.
Cheeks?
Yeah, we cheeks. That's basically what he said. And he's not lying.
Bring gas.
That's it. So to me, this is a good opportunity, but it's also if you don't get a laugher on Sunday, I think you can maybe start to get concerned about this. They need to, and again, I understand that the loss of James Conner is significant, but keep in mind now, let's not get into that woe is us mentality as we often do with our football teams when other football teams are dealing with far worse. And having to find ways to survive.
Yeah, Cincinnati doesn't have Joe Burrow.
Right.
The Giants are without Malik Neighbors. It's been confirmed. Torn ACL. He's out for the year.
Look what the 49ers have been dealing with. So, I mean, that to me, I don't want to hover around that as an alibi, but you've got to find an identity now without James Conner. And that's going to be imperative to do. You're going to have to find somebody or some buddies who can kind of pick up that that warrior spirit that James Conner is so well defined for. They need to find something.
Yeah, they came into the season with Budda Baker on the defense, James Conner on the offense, essentially as those emotional leaders. Do they have a second emotional leader on the offense that could replace him? I think that's the key. And we know it's not necessarily in Kyler's sort of personality to be that kind of player. So who else could it be on the offense?
Yeah, something's got to change. And one of the things that Gannon talked about on Friday was the miscommunication popping up way too often offensively, and then was asked, why do you think those miscommunications are still happening despite everybody being on the same page in the preseason?
Yeah, defense has a say. That's why, you know. So with saying that's not being like a smart ass, it's the truth, you know. So there's nothing like learning from game reps. So I think these reps will help us moving forward to play better.
Yeah, and look, when you're the quarterback of any NFL team, success, the team has success, you're going to bathe in that success. If the team is not having success, you're going to take a lot of the blame for it. This is from First Take on Friday, so this is the day after the Cardinals-Seahawks game, Bick. And they were talking about Kyler Murray because, you know, the Cardinals-Seahawks is on national TV, talking about the game that just happened. But here was Ryan Clark on his take, both individually with Kyler and with the Cardinals with Kyler at quarterback.
I don't believe Kyler Murray has reached his ceiling, but I believe the Arizona Cardinals have reached their ceiling with Kyler Murray. Right. I believe there's another place where Kyler Murray's talents, where some of the intangible things that he can do, some of the things that he can do from a measurable standpoint with arm talent, with the way he can maneuver the pocket, the way he can scramble, I think that can help a team built differently than this team win. But we also have to get back to who Cliff Kingsbury was as a coach. There was no evolution of what Cliff Kingsbury wanted to do from an offensive standpoint. There was no next step of what Cliff Kingsbury was with Kyler Murray. And now that Monty Ossenfort has become the GM, you go out and you get Marvin Harrison Jr. You do add a Trey McBride. What we saw last night was the first night without their best offensive player, in my opinion, who is James Conner. And then Kyler Murray still found ways to make plays in important moments. And to put that loss on him, to me, would be disingenuous from us. And so I do believe that Kyler Murray is a winning quarterback in this league. I just don't know if the Arizona Cardinals are the place for him to win big.
What do you make of that, Vic?
I don't know. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, the idea that is he saying the organization is holding him back, or is he saying the run first mentality? I don't. It just it just sounds like an uninformed opinion. From
I was going to say it sounds like somebody who the statement sounded smarter than it actually was.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't reached his potential, but they've reached his potential with him.
Well,
because they've built teams differently around him over the course of his career with the Cardinals.
What did I say for like the last 2 years of Cliff Kingsbury's time here, both individually about Cliff and Kyler? I want to see what Cliff looks like without Kyler and vice versa. I want to see what Kyler looks like in a different offense. This is year 7 for Kyler Murray, year 3 in this offense with the same coordinator. And
he looks pretty much like the same guy, if not worse.
He does. So
he's more mature and he's progressed in ways, but the on-field stuff, he used to be much more of a viable deep ball threat early in his career.
Now, his first 2 or 3 years in the league, he was one of the better deep ball throwers in the game.
And he takes great offense to the notion that he isn't, but look at the stats, look at the numbers, look at the lack of explosives.
636.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then we're not talking about 50 air yards either. We're just talking about a pass play that's covered 50 yards.
That's it.
It could be a swing pass that goes for 50 yards.
Yeah.
That's the lack of explosion that the Cardinals offense has right now.
Yeah, and look, this is, you have a very unique problem when you have a good team that's hard to watch. When you have a bad team that's hard to watch, you've hit the bottom. And that's where Matt Ishbia and the Suns are. And what did he vow to fix first? The aesthetics. Because enjoying watching your team play, it's kind of important.
It really is.
It really is.
Hate watching your team is not fun.
It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing.
Speaking of Murray, the first interception, Jonathan Gannon also talked about what he saw after reviewing the film on that play.
Yeah, honestly, like that's a little miscommunication. He's progressing to the big end, and I think when he pulled it down and strided up, you could talk to Marv. I haven't talked to Marv or Kyler yet, but I honestly think Marv started to snap off his route because he thought it was going to be a scramble drill and the ball was out of his hand, So it was just a touch of timing with that one. So it stinks that it happened, but it happened.
Yeah, and look, I'm past the point now of pinning responsibility on every interception that happens.
Yeah.
Because every time you do it, somebody will say, "Oh, it's not on him." I don't care. Somebody screwed up. Stop screwing up.
Stop screwing up. Right. That's it. Stop screwing up. Exactly.
Eliminate the screw ups and everything's fine.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.